Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So, Mr. Ye is standing there like, I dare you to make my wife shed a tear about me and you'll all see. When I tell you guys that Ye was very calculated in marrying this woman, now it is all coming to light. Everything is being put into perspective. Now, about an hour ago, one of my subscribers was like, Star, we want to hear about Bianca Censori and her mob ties. And I'm like, girl, I ain't got $4 million. Do you have $4 million, honey? She was like, no, I don't. But then once she said that, it kept dragging my memory to an article that I came across a couple weeks ago. And it spoke about Bianca, her aunt, a little bit about her family, but mostly about Bianca's upbringing. And I'm like, hey, no way this is talking about this girl. The information was just so heavy. It spoke about her aunt, how involved in theater she was, and that Bianca's aunt might have even bagged a few national awards, and how Bianca was cultured, mob ties, her father Leo. And I'm like, hey, no way, Mr. Leo, you're that badass, sir. But then today we are learning more. So the article that I came across a couple weeks ago that I believe was filled with fallacies and lies about Bianca, honey, it wasn't telling any lie. But I didn't do a report on it because I thought that this article is just filled with so many lies. Ain't no way Bianca could be rolling heavy like this, but acting as though she's just a small ant. No, we are going to talk about it because if you guys remember, it was a few weeks ago that the Daily Mail went to Australia, right? And they were in Bianca's neighborhood like, what do you know about this girl? And everyone was like, we don't know anything about them. And those who said something was like, they're a beautiful family. Now we know why everyone was so tight-lipped, because you dare not speak on a mob family. You dare not speak on a family with mob ties. But outside of that as well, Australians normally protects each other. They're not about, gossiping and whispering. And that is why I believe the moment her family left Italy, Australia was their intentions, because Australians, they really mind their own business and they don't talk. Now, let's talk about what is being discovered, because honey baby, Bianca's dad, Leo, he's still heavily involved in the business of gambling. And if you know about mob families, mob ties, alcohol and gambling is just their way of making money. They're always involved in some type of entertainment that is heavily centered around gambling and alcohol. Bianca's dad is the CEO of a company that runs a gambling company, right? But they have so many questions about Mr. Leo, like they can't figure out how to touch him. So Bianca's dad is what is known as an untouchable. We believe this guy has done something. We believe this guy knows a lot, but he's untouchable, because if you don't have anything, if you have nothing on the guy, what are you going to do, right? But let's talk about Bianca's granddad, because he was the one who somewhat got caught. But there's so many twists and turns. Like, you're looking at the story, you're wondering, is it real? Let me pinch myself, honey, because let me tell you, the Jenners, they will be running scared, and all that intimidation talk that Kim has, right? About Bianca better sit with her. And I'm like, bitch, where? Bitch, please. Now you all know why. So let's talk about it. Now, a notorious gangland killer dubbed as Melbourne, Al Capone will remain on parole for life after a failed bid to complete freedom. But Eric Censori, Bianca's granddad, is still a step ahead of the system. Big boy. After already beating a death sentence and order He remained behind bars for life over the murder of a Perth man, Michael Sedaris, in 1982. Censori was ordered to face off with a Western Australian executioner over the murder, but the sentence was later commuted to life in prison. He started serving the term in Western Australia but was transferred back to Victoria in 1987 so it could be closer to his family. Remember, we spoke about it initially, saying that Bianca is Italian, and many people thought that, hey, if she's Italian, chances are she may have mob ties. I guess people knew the story but didn't want to come out with it in its entirety, right? But let's continue. They're saying that ultimately he was released on parole to the end in 1999 and has been on a crusade since for complete freedom. But in a major blow to his case, legislative changes reform in 2013 and 2014 forced him to be placed back on parole, and he has been fighting the decision since then. This man has people running to the hills. When I tell you he has people running to the hills, he has people running to the hills because guess what? How is it that he was released in 1999, but then because of a legislative reform, he was back in jail? You know that there has to be a ring going on. There has to be a string going on for this man to be. People out here are like scared because guess what? No matter how old he is, he still has connections, right? Now, let's continue. They're saying that earlier this year, the Supreme Court dismissed his proceedings, and the Court of Appeal today dismissed an appeal of that decision. Censori, who impressed Supreme Court Judge Stephen Kay with his legal nous, represented himself on both occasions. Among a myriad of arguments, Censori had argued that a prison transfer, I think they meant transfer, the only sentence he could have legally subjected to was the Western Australian death sentence. This man is one serious. Ooh. Wow. So let me go back to that again, because I believe what he's saying. And his argument here makes sense. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying that, they're saying that among a myriad of arguments, Censori had argued that as a prison transferee, not transfer, he's a transferee, the only sentence he could have been legally subjected to was the Western death sentence. This man is one effing smart man, because that's the reason why he insisted that they transferred him back to his hometown, because he's always thinking ahead. He's always moving 2 steps ahead, even the legal system. So you know why people want this man behind bars, because he's smart, he's badass, and he has people scared out here. Listen, this is some crazy, serious ish going on here. This ain't no easy game. This ain't no light game. This is some real big boy Al Capone shit. Like what you see in the movies. This man ain't one to be taught with, not even lightly or slightly. Just imagine the argument that he brought up in court in his defense. Now, listen to this. He's telling them that as a prison transferee, the only thing they can offer him is a death sentence. But the death sentence was abolished in Victoria in 1975. So he was no longer subjected to any sentence in this state. Eris and his older brothers, Edmundo and Leo, Bianca's dad, were a well-known crime family involved in drugs and illegal gambling syndicate. Let me tell you something. This man is no one to be messed with, thought with. And no wonder, he's out here winning legal battles. This explains why Ye has been winning in his case and his legal team seems so untouchable and his case and Adidas. This explains it damn all too well. OMG. OMG. Like, I'm blown away. I'm impressed. Like, Kim, you better watch out. Keep it down, girl. Keep it down because listen, you don't want none of this. You don't want none of this. This explains because I've been saying it ever since. Let's not talk about that. Let's get into this, right? No. Eldest brother, eldest brother, Edmondo, known as Eddie Capone, and we've heard that name so many times. And they told us in the movies that Eddie was a fictional character. He's not. And there have been many stories telling us that Eddie wasn't a fictional character. Let's continue. Eldest brother Edmondo, known as Eddie Capone, has convictions in Victoria for violence, including assaulting police, theft, and threats. The small but thickest man has been involved in the amusement machine business in Melbourne and Perth. And that's the same business Bianca's dad is involved in today, her dad Leo. They're saying Eddie has previously given his occupation as a bouncer, laborer, machine operator, fitter, billiard marker, and cafe proprietor. He arrived from Italy with his parents in 1960 and was known to hang around the inner suburban coffee bars in Melbourne as a teenager. Eddie and Iris moved to Perth in 1981. So, this Eddie that they have been portraying and trying to tell us that Eddie is a fictional character, heck no. And this means that the article that I came across a few weeks ago that I believe was laced with lies about Bianca's family, honey baby, this family goes deeper than what is even being reported here. I'm gonna have to find back that article and share it with you guys because, like, you have no idea. I should not be excited about these things, but like hell, this explains a lot, especially as it relates to Ye and his cases, right? It even explains more why Bianca is not even looking at Kim as though she exists. Honey, listen. Let's continue. So, Eddie and Iris moved to Perth in 1981 and set up an amusement machine company. Gambling identity Leo Censori as convictions for possession of a pistol and for possession of fully jacketed ammunition. Leo Censori is a bad boy. That's Bianca's dad, and you see them walking around there in Tokyo, Japan. You see her mom, and remember I said that what she was wearing is not for the poor. And these girls went to elite schools. We have been saying it. I've been saying it. They ain't no regular schmegler. They just keep it low roll. Now, in 1982, he was convicted in the county court in Melbourne on a charge of possessing a prohibited import heroin and sentenced to 5 years with a minimum of 3. He was also fined $5,000, and that's Bianca's dad. Ain't no little coward or any fool or anyone to be messed with. Let's talk some more. They're saying his ex-wife detailed how he was behind a massive illegal gambling empire he has helped run for more than a decade. You have to have connections to do that. Now, in a series of interviews with the Herald Sun in 1991, she exposed the inner working of the cartel, which controlled a large slice of the lucrative illegal gambling industry in Melbourne. Miss Glasscott said her former husband had made a fortune from illegal gambling. I have seen, she said, this is Leo's ex-wife. I've seen the money, she said. Leo can stack money better than a bank. Woo! She had found rolls of money up to 40,000 in and around their Alphington home. She recalled seeing about 60,000 sitting up on their coffee table at home. Guys, do you know that in 1991, this is a damn lot of money for anyone to be rolling in their homes? 1991, honey. Not 95, not 98, 1991. Ooh. Now, at one time, Leo Censori accepted a police guard when detectives discovered a group of bandits planned to kill him because those bandits now wants his money. He's a big boy. He has the money. But those bandits weren't thinking, right? No, Miss Glascott said things turned a little sour in Perth for the family after Iris was convicted of murder. Iris destroyed it with the murder. Within 24 hours, the police seized his machines and closed him up. So they're saying that because, Bianca's dad was convicted of the murder, he basically destroyed an empire that was going on, and the police seized his machines and closed everything up. But Bianca's dad, Leo, is still in that business today. He's known as the CEO of a prominent gambling company, and I think it also runs as an amusement park as well. So Leo ain't gonna lose his job anytime soon, not even close. Guys, isn't this something to know that all this time we've been hearing this? And I came across that article just a few weeks ago, and I'm like, hey, no, that cannot be Bianca Censori's family. But it is. This girl is from badass, and she only knows how to be badass, and people thinks that Ye's out here controlling this woman, manipulating her. Where, honey? Ye's the one who's being manipulated. I'm just kidding. But this explains why things are the way they are for Ye and why Ye has been winning his legal battles. Hey, kudos to you. Ye, take care of those in-laws, but they don't need your money. They don't need your clout. They don't need your attention. They have their own history. They have their own story. And most of all, they've got that good money, honey. Guys, this is nothing to gloat over, but some part of me makes me happy that Ye is surrounded by people like these, because we know that he has been manipulated and swindled so much that he definitely needs that kind of protection. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Ooh, I can't wait. And give this video a big thumbs up. We'll talk later. Bye, guys.